Ladies and gentlemen, on the movie quiz tonight, your resident team captains, Vincent Price and Sylvia Syms. With Jan Sterling and Richard Johnson. And Shirley Anne Field and Kenneth Haigh. And here is your chairman, Robin Ray.
Thank you, good evening, welcome to the movie quiz, and tonight Vincent Price's partners are Jan Sterling and Shirley Anne Field, while Sylvia Syms is joined by Kenneth Haigh and Richard Johnson. We begin with a round of individual questions to get you all in the mood. Every question is worth 10 marks, and firstly, Vincent Price, one specially for you. Have a look at this still. The gentleman taking off his clothes with Jill St. John is after something that every man in Hollywood wants. Who is he? And what's he after?
He's after Jill St. John. It's Stephen Boyd.
It is indeed Stephen Boyd.
Yeah.
And he is?
After the Oscar.
Because it was a film called The Oscar?
Called The Oscar.
You get 10 marks. Well done. Good. Yes, I think a little encouragement would be appropriate. Sylvia, Ben-Hur, The Man Who Never Was, and Shalako. For which of these films did Stephen Boyd win the Oscar for the Best Supporting Role?
I have a strange feeling you are trying to catch me out, Robin Ray, because I don't think he won the Oscar for any of those films.
I think you're absolutely right.
It's Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple.
Jan Sterling.
Yes, sir.
Look at this one. Why did the pretty girl and the podgy gentleman who are in bed together have a problem not with multiplication, but with division?
Well, it's Rod Steiger.
Yes.
And is it Judy Geeson?
Judy Geeson, yeah.
Something about three and two and three don't go, or 3 and 2 don't.
That's the reason. I've got to work this one out. 3 and 2 won't go. I think 3 and 2 won't go.
It sounds very rude, whatever it is, but I'm sure.
You've got your 10 marks anyway. Ken Haigh, staying on the subject of infidelity, Kirk Douglas and Faye Dunaway had a roaring affair in a film based on a book by a famous Hollywood director, which was said to be autobiographical. What was the film and who was the director?
Said to be, but we weren't there, were we? Elia Kazan directed and wrote the book.
Quite right, and it was called?
The Arrangement.
The Arrangement, 10 marks for you.
Right.
All on very good form tonight. Shirley Anne, look at this still. Peter Sellers looks happy, as indeed well he may, beside the delectable Goldie Hawn. What am I getting at if I were to ask you what's cooking?
Oh, soup.
Why
It's
soup?
from A Girl in My Soup.
Yes, you're really on very good form tonight. 10 marks for you. Richard Johnson, just to break the monotony, do you think you might try and get this wrong for us?
Certain, I should say. Quite certain.
In what other film was Peter Sellers cast as a lady killer?
In The Lady Killers?
Yes, in The Lady Killer.
Was it? Oh.
Thank goodness it was an easy one.
Right, I'm now going to show you a couple of film clips, each one connected with what one might call higher things. First for you, Sylvia, Kenneth and Richard, and I warn you, we've done a little tiny bit of fiddling about with what you're going to see. You're all writing furiously and looking supremely confident. The first thing I want to know, Sylvia and partners, is, first of all, what was the name of the film that you saw? And secondly, were you satisfied with what you saw?
Not entirely, but together we will say we think it was the first of the few.
You think absolutely right, so that's okay for your first half of the question. Now, to get 10 marks, I want to know what you think might conceivably have been not quite right about it.
I think it was the wrong tune.
Yes, you're right.
I think it might have been the music
Wrong
from
music, understand.
The Battle of Britain.
Oh,
written by Ron Good. Do you want the cast?
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I've got another question on it. You've got 10 marks so far.
Because Ken knows the answer.
No, you're quite right. It was the film The First of the Few, and you were listening to the music from a film called The Battle of Britain. Right.
I know what you want to know.
Now, William Walton was the composer of the music for The First of the Few, and he actually began the music for the Battle of Britain, but he didn't complete it. It was completed by a famous composer. There are two. One is called Ron Goodwin, the other's called Ron Grainer. Which one completed the music for the film The Battle of Britain?
I think it's Ron Goodwin.
No
You
question.
think absolutely right. You get 10 marks.
Oh, can't we tell you the cast of The First of the Few and who directed it? Oh, go on, Ken, go on, quick, quick.
Leslie Howard
And we know
directed.
who was in the airplane, too.
Leslie Howard. Who was in the
David
airplane?
Niven was in the
was in the
airplane.
airplane.
And
David
the
Niven
leading
was in-
lady was Amelia Earhart.
Played by Catherine Hepburn.
Absolutely.
No, you've done very well. You've got a total, complete answer, and you get all your marks. Now, another out-of-this-world excerpt, this time for you, Vincent, Jan, and Shirley Anne. 2 questions on what you're about to see, and as in the previous case, each question will be worth 10 marks to you. Right.
I
Oh,
loved
they're
it. I
each.
loved it. It
I
was
did too.
wonderful.
I liked it too.
Now, let's find out who it was. Jan.
Well, I think it was 2001, the film.
2001, A Space Odyssey.
Oh,
you're
well,
quite right.
2001.
All right.
And then, but I think the music was Things to Come, was it?
Well, how can you be more right? The music is things to come. Yeah, right.
Shirley knows who wrote it.
You already know the answer
No,
to my
I know.
second question. All right, for another 10 marks, who wrote the music for the film Things to Come?
I think I know because I meet him in my health shop each day.
Do you?
His name is Arthur Bliss.
He's the master of the Queen's music. He's Sir Arthur Bliss, and you get 10 marks.
In your health shop. Oh, isn't that
it's
nice
lovely.
to know I have 2 healthy girls?
Only one. I don't go to the health shop.
What do you both, what does he buy in the health shop
Wheat
when he
germ.
goes in? Wheat germ.
Very good for composing.
And things to come.
Oh, that was a very snide remark from Mr. Haigh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you at this stage of the game that Vincent Price, Jan Sterling, and Shirley Anne Field, Sylvia Syms, Kenneth Haigh, and Richard Johnson are dead level at 50 marks each. Now, we'll hot up the pace for you all a little now. It's time to get your buzzer and bell fingers working because we're coming to our question on leading actors and their co-stars. I'm going to read you some biographical details of a very famous actress. Buzz or ring for 10 marks when you think you've guessed who she is. Our star is the famous daughter... No, I don't believe you can be right, Jan
It's got to
Sterling.
be one of 2.
Yeah, it's got to be one of 2. I'll try the first one. Jane Fonda.
You're quite right, Jane Fonda. 10 marks.
It's got to be
Good.
one of 2.
Splendid. All right, I'm now going to read you biographies of 4 of Jane Fonda's leading men. 5
We
marks.
still buzz?
Oh, you do indeed.
right.
Oh, okay.
If you've got the strength.
Okay, I just have.
5 marks for each, for guessing the actor.
Yeah.
And another 5 to guess the film, but you've got to guess both when you buzz. Okay? All right. This gentleman is a Californian. He was born in 1937. He studied to be an artist in Paris. Oh! Jan Sterling again.
Oh.
Oh, no.
You You can have it if
Please,
you want.
have it.
Do you want
Oh,
it?
please.
No, go on. I
Please
must
show
take you
it to
back,
me.
Jan.
Really? Robert Redford.
Quite right. And a film in which he co-starred with Jane Fonda.
The basketball. Oh, do I have to ring?
Kenneth
Tall
Haigh is
Story.
ringing like mad. Hang on, hang on. You have given me quite rightly Robert Redford. Now, can you give me the title of a film in which he co-starred with Jane Fonda?
Tall Story?
No.
Oh.
Sylvia Syms. can get
Barefoot in
other
the Park.
Yes.
Barefoot in the
right.
Park. Right. The other 5 marks to Sylvia Syms.
I know who it isn't.
Never mind. You share honours on it. You get 5. He also co-starred with her in a film called The Chase. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Jane's co-star number 2 took quite a long time to become a star. With Charles Bronson, another small part actor, he played bits in 20 films before becoming famous as the gangster who threw scalding coffee in Gloria Graham's face in The Big Heat. Yes, Sylvia.
I think it's got to be Lee Marvin, because he's got to be Cat Ballou, because that's the only film he's done with Jane Fonda, and because that's the only one I can think of who took a long time to become a movie star. And is that right?
Yes, it's right. You get 10 marks. I think it's brilliant, actually. Not only right, but spectacular.
Oh, dear.
So we've had Cat Ballou as well. Co-star number 3. Now, will you just allow me to get into this game for one moment? Because I'm feeling vaguely redundant. You're all so clever. Co-star number 3 started in British second features and became an international star. He has more recently started producing and directing, but he shot to fame in a British film based on a novel by John Brain. He was born in Lithuania, and his films include Richard Johnson,
Larry Harvey.
Lawrence Harvey. You're quite right.
I pressed my buzzer first.
Well, your light didn't come on, Shirley Anne. I'm sorry.
But
Whichever
I was
light
letting
comes.
you get through the
Her
question.
light is
here, no
always
argument.
on.
I'm sorry. I pressed my buzzer.
The light is on. I can even make it. Look, you've seen it go off. You see.
Oh, I
It
didn't
couldn't
know
be
I
more
had to
clear.
keep my finger on.
Well, I'll
It's a
teach you.
gentle, friendly game.
Why?
It's not.
I must say, for rather,
Temple.
I must say, for rather obvious reasons, I was rather surprised that Kenneth Haigh wasn't the first off the mark there.
I was
Because
waiting for you to finish the question.
you shared the same character, Joe Lampton, right?
Yeah.
Lawrence Harvey. Oh, you've got 5 marks, but now Richard Johnson, on your Todd, I want the title of the film in which he co-starred with Jane Fonda.
With Jane Fonda. Wait a
Vincent
minute, I
Price is
haven't
ready.
had time to think yet.
It doesn't matter.
No, that wasn't the name.
No, that's not
It
the
wasn't
same.
quite
called,
wrong.
It doesn't
Take the mark
matter.
away.
It's got to be.
Sylvia,
Walk.
no, I saw Sylvia Syms writing something on her pad.
Kid, you got it.
All right, Richard, what was it?
Walk on the wild side.
Okay, you get your other 5.
I only saw walk.
Well, I have to be
admit that.
weak sometimes. You know, everyone thinks I'm too cruel otherwise.
I promise I won't do it again. I promise.
Right, okay, that's fair enough. Last final mystery co-star. A tall, fair-haired Canadian.
Oh!
Jan Sterling.
Donald Sutherland.
Again?
Donald Sutherland.
Quite right, Donald Sutherland. And the film in which he co-starred with Jane Fonda was called?
Clute.
It was called Clute. You get 10 marks.
Clute.
Well done. Very good. They're all far too quick tonight, so I think we'll slow things down by asking them all to act a little bit.
That's gonna slow us down.
Come to the spot in our show where they demonstrate their scintillating acting prowess, and we ask them to read you an excerpt from a famous play that was made into a film. The first one is going to be read by Sylvia Syms, Kenneth Haigh, and Richard Johnson, and they will probably attempt to disguise things a little, which will make things confusing. So we will show you a still at home in case you're in any doubt as to what the film is. Sylvia, Kenneth, Richard, we're ready when you are.
Sit down. I've got the dope on your big sister Stella.
Stanley, stop picking on Blanche.
That girl calls me common.
Lately, you've been doing all you can think of to rub her up the wrong way, Stanley. And Blanche is sensitive, and you've got to realize that Blanche and I grew up under very different circumstances than you did, and we're going to finish this, whether you interrupt us or not.
So I've been told, and told, and told. You know she's been feeding us a pack of lies.
No, I don't, and...
Well, she has, however. But now the cat's out of the bag, I found out some things.
What things?
Things I already suspected. But now I've got proof from the most reliable sources which I have checked on.
Hey, it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea. But it wouldn't be Listen, I've always wanted to play this part. I'm not likely to get it.
Not now,
If you believed in me.
Lower your voice.
Some canary bird.
Now, please tell me quietly what you think you found out about my sister.
Give us another chorus, Ken.
Come on, Ken.
Line number one. All this squeamishness she puts on. You just know the line she's been feeding to Mitch. He thought she'd never been kissed by a fella, but Sister Blanche is no lily. Some lily she is.
Well, I knew you were going to disguise it, but I had no idea it would be totally incomprehensible.
Oh, not to us. No, we know.
Vincent, Jan, Shirley, you had some clues. What did you make? First of all, I want to know what the title of the film was.
Streetcar Named Desire.
You're quite right, and for the other half of your 10 points, can you name 2 stars from that picture?
Marlon Brando.
Yes.
Vivian Leigh.
Right. Written by Tennessee Williams. 10 full marks to your team. Good.
Good.
Vincent Price, Jan Sterling, Shirley Anne Field. Revenge is sweet.
Believe me, my dear, I have nothing but your welfare at heart when I warn you that if you decide to discontinue drinking porter, you will incur my grave displeasure.
Oh, no, Papa. That's really asking too much. I can't drink the horrible stuff in cold blood.
Very well. Of course, I have no means of coercing you. A tankard of porter will be left at your bedside, and I hope that tomorrow you will be able to tell me that you have obeyed your father.
I'm sorry, Papa, but I shan't drink it.
Go down to the kitchen and fetch a tankard of porter.
No.
I beg your pardon?
It's sheer cruelty. You know how Ba hates that stuff. The doctor has let her off. You're just torturing her because you like torturing.
I told you to fetch the tankard of porter from the kitchen.
Well, I won't do it.
I won't do it.
Must I ask you a third time? Obey me this instant.
Brilliant, Alfred.
I think
Marvellous.
so too.
Absolutely marvellous. Sylvia Syms, 2 questions on that piece of nonsense.
Well, I think there've been more than one version.
There have been, and that's going to be the substance of my second question.
Well, it's the Barretts of Wimpole Street.
Quite right for 5 marks, and for your other 5, I want to know the star, i.e. Mr. Moulton Barrett, of both versions, the 1934 and the 1957.
Ken? There's a slight argument on this, but go on.
No arguments on our team.
Who am I to believe?
Well,
Mr. Lawton?
Charles Lawton, of course,
Yeah.
for the first one.
Mr.
And the
Gielgud,
second one.
Sir John Gielgud.
Sir John Gielgud. Right, fine, good.
I thought it was Ralph Richardson.
Cedric Hardwick.
I thought it was Ralph
It
Richardson.
was Cedric Hardwick.
Now, that was the previous version. Sorry, he
The
asked.
one before 34.
I did say that 1934 and 1957, and this has been very carefully gone
Of course,
into.
I wasn't born in 34. I mean, none of us remember that, do we?
I was just.
You weren't. Oh.
That's a mean thing to say.
I can hardly believe that this has happened, ladies and gentlemen, but I have to tell you that Vincent's team and Sylvia's team are still dead level with 85 points each.
We'll have to try a foul if we all get on with the next one.
Somebody is going to crack in a minute, I know it. Right, now for 2 scenes from films on current release. The first is a musical based on a famous classic and is for Vincent, Jan and Shirley Anne. 2 questions connected with it, each of them worth 10 marks. Have a look at it now.
All of it? 2 coats. 2 coats? All of it. When I come back, young man, that work had better be done.
You don't need nothing except ambition, elbow grease for ammunition, and paint. What a righteous glow you get from honest sweat. It's a natural bet.
I mean, when's the last time you could slosh your block to full of wash and a mile of fence? Look at him smiling and having a time, and all at my expense.
You don't need nothing except ambition, elbow grease for ammunition, and paint. What a righteous glow you get from honest sweat. It's a natural bet. Anyone who puts his nose to the grindstone's gonna get a great reward. Your eyes will see the glory of the coming of the Lord, and you get that deep down inside, gratifying, gratifying, what I mean, that deep down inside,
Delicious. Right, Vincent, Jan, Shirley Anne, before I asked you your question, shall we just establish what the film was that we were looking at?
Well, it's set in Hannibal, Missouri.
And it's Tom Sawyer.
It's Tom Sawyer.
And it's Tom Sawyer, directed by Don Taylor.
And who wrote it? Can we say that?
Can we
And
say that?
who wrote the original story,
Mark
Tom Sawyer?
Twain.
He did.
Yes.
Now, after all that, we'll come to your question.
Oh!
So you've worked so hard, and I haven't told you. They know his real name over there, but that's not what I'm going to ask you, although you can answer that if you wish.
Samuel Langhorne Clemens.
Samuel Langhorne Clemens, quite right.
Right.
Also, by the by.
Yes.
Shall I read you the question?
Oh, yes, we'd like to
please
hear
do.
it.
I happen
Yes.
to be from Missouri.
Ooh,
I mean, there
if you
it
want
is,
to
all
know.
right.
Right, there have been quite a few films based on stories by Mark Twain. Can you name two of them, apart from the one that we've already seen?
A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
A Connecticut Yankee is quite right for one.
Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry Finn, Prince and the Pauper, the £1 Million Note, but you're already there and you get 10 marks. Congratulations.
Great.
To have a bit of fun here, I will allow one answer from each team for a 10-mark bonus if you can give me within 5 years Mark Twain's date of birth. You needn't buzz, just have a think, and somebody for each team. Vincent Price knows but doesn't want to go first.
No, I don't want
Shall I have a bash?
Sylvia Syms will have a bash.
1890?
1890.
1873.
1860.
You're all close, but none of you are close enough, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. 1835.
Oh, my Lord.
And died in 1910. And for your second question, Vincent Price, Jan Sterling, Shirley Anne Field, can you tell me the name of the actor who played the part of Mark Twain on the screen in a film made in 1944?
Frederick March.
Frederick March, 10 marks. Good.
Absolutely. Freddie March. No.
You know why he was called Mark Twain, don't you?
Why he was
Because
called Mark Twain? No.
on the Mississippi steamboats, they would test the depths of the water, and the man would say, when he dropped something in, Mark 1, Mark 2, which is Mark Twain. And that is what Mark Twain is.
Really?
Yes.
Hal Holbrook does the most marvelous
The
thing.
rumors of his death were exaggerated, right?
Well, he was the marvelous man who said, never put off till tomorrow what you can do day after tomorrow just as well. Isn't that marvelous?
Vincent Price.
Oh, it's true.
Right, Sylvia, Kenneth and Richard, you've got a lot to keep up with. They've scored full marks. This time a clip for you three. This is a comedy thriller. And in this scene, you can study the finer points of that most important thing, the sophisticated pickup.
Excuse me. That's Laura Keaton. I think you're being a little over your head. All right, then I'll just be over talking to your wife. I think you might enjoy her. Laura, this is Webster McGee. Webster, this is Laura Keaton. How do you do? I think you two might have a great deal in common. Thank you, Jean. Don't mention it. What do you think he meant by that?
I haven't the faintest idea. Nothing about me is at all common.
I noticed that.
You're too beautiful to be any good.
Any good at what?
What else is there?
Something tells me we're off to an interesting start.
Jean did say we had something in common.
Well, maybe I've been selected as a potential reformer.
No. Only the wives want to reform me. The men like me the way I am.
I never meet girls like that at parties. All right, Sylvia, let's establish, first of all, what was the film we were looking at?
Gentlemen?
I think...
The Thief Who Came to Dinner.
Yeah, and the stars were Ryan O'Neill and Jacqueline Bisset, right?
Right.
Now, would you like a question on it? We all know that Ryan O'Neill became a star basically through a television series which was called Peyton Place, but he was given his first film starring role by one of our guests on this show last week, Michael Winner. For 10 marks, what was the name of the picture that he starred
The
in?
Games.
Oh,
the
it's too
Games.
easy. Quite
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
The Games.
Olympic thing. Michael did it, yeah.
He
that's
did indeed, right.
Michael
Now,
York.
in the film that we've just seen, The Thief Who Came to Dinner, this is for your second 10, Jacqueline Bisset was helping Ryan O'Neill to break the law. In 2 of her previous films, she helped 2 very distinguished actors to keep it. One was Frank Sinatra, the other was Steve McQueen. All you have to do for 10 more marks, and hopefully a round of applause, is to tell me the title of the 2 films.
Well, The Detective was the...
That's not bad for
That's
Frank
the
Sinatra
Sinatra,
one.
and The Bullet was the other one.
And Bullet, Peter Yates' film with Steve
Peter
McQueen, and
Yates.
you get 10 marks. We are still, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, totally level pegging, so we're going to have a real burn-off on the buzzers and the bells. 5 marks each for every question. First one to buzz or ring gets it. Are you ready? Can you give me the title of the film chosen for the first public Royal Command performance? Jan Sterling.
A Stairway to the Stars, or Walk to the Stars.
A Stairway to...
Heaven.
Yes, and that was actually the original title. It was called over here A Matter of Life and Death, but that's good enough for 5 marks.
Wonderful.
David Niven, Barbara Bell Geddes. Do you want
No, Barbara Bell.
Anything you like, but no marks for it, Sylvia. What was the title of the last Royal Command performance film? Let's wipe the smiles off their faces, Sylvia.
No, that wasn't. That was the Royal Premiere, Nicholas and Alexander, but it wasn't the Royal film.
Quite
Oh,
right.
crumbs. I buzzed me bell and I don't know what I was going
You
to say.
answered wrongly, but Jan Sterling thinks she
I think
knows.
it was Born Free.
It wasn't Born Free. None of you
that's
know.
years ago.
I'm going to offer this question all
Lost
over
Horizon.
again. What?
Lost Horizon.
She's right!
Why not?
no.
5 marks for you, Richard Johnson. Lost Horizon. The star of the first version of Lost Horizon won an Oscar for a film in which he starred as a famous Shakespearean... And the same to you, Jan Sterling. All right, what was it called?
Ronald Colman, A Double Life.
Ronald Colman in A Double
And who was
Life.
the
5
leading
marks for
lady?
you.
Shelley Winters.
Senior Hasso. Senior Hasso.
Now you're going to have to be very, very quick here because you've just made a remark that's a giveaway to everybody. So, a brassy blonde
Shelley
who
Winters.
Ronald Colman murdered.
Shelley Winters.
Yes, you've already said it, Jan Sterling. Shirley Winters. She was murdered in the film.
What?
Shirley Winters.
Shelley Winters, murdered in A Double Life by Ronald Colman. Serious question, ladies and gentlemen. A famous war film in the 1930s. Kenneth Haigh.
The most famous, I suppose, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Absolutely right, yes, 5 marks.
Well done.
Louis Milestone, Louis S., Louis Wolheim, Slim Somerville, what else?
A butterfly.
Mr. Price has something
A butterfly at the
The
end.
big parade.
Close.
Just past 5. Just
Cigar.
No, Ken Haigh very well anticipated it. Well, I was going to talk about a soldier's hand coming out to grab a butterfly.
Yes.
From the
Who was
tent.
it? Who was it?
Okay, who played the soldier? Buzz, come on.
Who
You're too late. She buzzed first. Suez, quite right.
Of course I knew. It was Burl
All right.
Mercer.
Are you really on your toes? Who directed it?
Louis Milestone.
Ken Haigh first, Louis Milestone. Quite right.
Oh my gosh, put your fingers on
I've got it on. I forget the buzz.
What else do you want to know? He also did
From
Mice
whose-
and Men a couple
From
of years
whose
later.
novel was the film adapted?
Maria Remarque.
Vincent
Remarque.
Price has buzzed
Remarque.
first. Eric Maria Remarque.
Remarque.
Quite right. I must warn you, it's no good answering without
Buzzer.
buzzing, because it's my little eyes that do it, not my ears. Before his recent death, Remarque was married to a film star, Jan Sterling.
My buzzer's not working.
Sorry, well, it's all right. It's not working because your teammate's beating you to it.
You say the first name.
My goodness, they're
You say the
competing
first
with their
name.
own friends now.
Wait a minute,
My
you say the
buzzer's
first
not
name. Just say
working.
the
Look.
first name.
Is it? There's
No,
no
it's
light going
not.
up.
That's because Jan Sterling's light is already
First
on.
name.
Okay, Paulette.
Goddard.
That's all right.
And who all was she married to?
Oh, yes.
Chaplin.
All right,
Well, Charlie
Charlie
Chaplin,
Chaplin.
among others, right?
Well, not you for a change.
Anatole Litvak.
That's me, too.
You're not standing for that, are you, Vincent?
No, I'm not.
I should think not. Who were the famous Beery brothers in the 1920s? Jan Sterling again.
Wallace and Noah.
Wallace and Noah, and we've arrived at the end of our game, and I have to tell you that the scores are 125 to Sylvia's team and 135 to Vincent Price, and you've won it. Vincent Price, Jan Sterling, Shirley Anne Field, congratulations. Another chance next week. Sylvia Syms, Kenneth Haigh, Richard Johnson. From all of us to all of you, good night. Bye-bye.